Welcome to the Holistic Business Plug Show, where tonight we navigate the intricate yet rewarding maze of government contracts. Whether you are a newbie or a seasoned entrepreneur, get ready to embark on a journey that could redefine your business trajectory.
Yes, I am super excited. Together, we will demystify the myths, showcase the opportunities, and provide you with a roadmap to success in this sector. So, plug in and let's get started.
Good evening, pluggers. Welcome back to the Holistic Business Plug Show. We're your hosts, Chastity and Tamika, and we will be discussing an opportunity that many small businesses overlook, and that is securing government contracts.
Exactly. So, this is a topic that I am super passionate about because most business owners, especially small business owners, think that government contracts are just for the big players. And that is a huge myth. So, today we're going to dive in and explain how you and your small business can break into the world of government contracting. And if you're thinking, why bother? You definitely want to stick with us because the benefits might surprise you.
And I'm here to hear about all of those benefits. So let's kind of start at the beginning. Like, why should small businesses even consider government contracts?
Of course. So there are multiple reasons. So you have diverse opportunities. The government seeks services and products ranging from IT, landscaping, even consultants. I know you didn't think they pull in consultants, but there is a slice of pie for everyone. Also,
So go ahead. Well, I had
there's
a question about the diverse opportunities.
okay. What's your question?
So just to break that down just a little bit. So you said ranging from IT solutions to landscaping. So that's kind of big because there are a lot of landscaping
Mhm.
jobs and opportunities. So you're saying there's a government contracting for that?
Yes, there is a government contract for landscaping. Government contract, government agencies are on property.
Mhm.
Somebody has to cut the grass.
And
Somebody has
so
to landscape the building.
and it doesn't even matter like how big or small your business is to obtain these types of contracts, right?
It is not. You just have to be able to perform the work.
Man, and then I was reading one time, or maybe me and you was talking a couple months ago. I don't know. Or I was on some seminar. I don't know, but they were getting ready for hurricane preparedness, and they were had a list of different items that was needed, and one of the items was like body bags. Like, if you gotta
Look,
I mean,
we're gonna go into all of that in the show. But yes, the government submits solicitations for everything.
yeah, everything. It's crazy. I love the diverse opportunity. I mean, because it's just room for everyone to jump on it.
Exactly. There is a seat at the table for everyone and everyone's business. Another reason to go into government contracting is economic stability. So we've all heard about, the looming recession or whether we're in a recession or not. So when you
Yeah.
think about private contractors or private contracts that you may get, they might tend to dwindle off, especially in a recession.
Hmm.
People are laying people off and things like that, but government contracts remain stable. The government does
Mm.
not go into a recession. And people don't realize that because you think the government caused the recession, but the government
Right.
does not ever go into a recession. So economic stability, meaning that everything is going to remain the same. The government is going to continue to pay for what they pay for. is another reason to go into government contracts.
Gotcha. Economic stability. I mean, that's great because, this economy is looking kind of suspectish. So that's good to know that if already are secure in a contract with the government, that, your business will be financially stable.
Exactly. Another reason is reliability. So the government offers consistent work and timely payments. So, like I mentioned before, with private entities, if you've had a government contract, you are with a private entity, it's not always reliable. If
Okay.
their revenue goes down, they may let go of the contractor. They may, get rid of the consultant. But with the government, you definitely, if you are in a contract with the government, as long as you are fulfilling that contract will stay in place.
Right. For however long the contract is termed for. Correct.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. And so what are some other benefits of having government contracts?
So, like I mentioned, basically the government buys everything. Anything that you would have in the civilian world, the government also pays for. So a lot of times people say, well, I don't sell anything that the government would want. Yes, you do. You sell exactly what the government wants. So that is probably the biggest reason as to why to get into government contracts.
Okay. So is there a difference between like working with the government and working with private clients?
Yes. Aside from the fact that, the government is reliable, the government is stable, definitely with the government, there's transparency. So your
Okay.
contracts are detailed, ensuring that you're both on the same page. Plus, with the government and their vast resources, it means that they're always going to meet their contractual obligations. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you're in a contract with a private organization, they may decide to terminate the contract early. They may decide that, well, we need to renegotiate the contract, whatever the case may be. The government is going to always fulfill their obligations. So you
Wow.
definitely want to consider that when you're considering private clients versus government clients. And
Yeah. Yeah.
call it stability. So even with private clients, they might be here today and gone tomorrow.
Right. And
Not only letting
as
go of
a
contract.
contractor working with those private entities, you'll be the first person to go because you're not really per se a part of their company. You're just contracting in to do a little work. So when they go down, you going down.
Exactly. So it may be the entire company going out of business, but the government, on the other hand, is always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So they have consistent needs for goods and services, and that means basically regular, predictable business for their contractors.
Right.
And another one of the benefits of working with the government versus private clients is guaranteed payment.
Oh, yeah.
So the government is always going to pay you for what you do. For the work that you do, as per the contract, the government is always going to pay. Right. So you're not out here chasing invoices, dealing with unexpected cancellations. There's always potential for long-term contracts, which means consistent revenue as small business. As small businesses, we definitely like the idea of consistent revenue.
Yes.
And not having to chase people down for our money.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times business owners that I come across don't realize that the government buys everything. And I'm sure that I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. They don't have petty cash where they can just run down to the local corner store and purchase what they need. They have to take bids or use a contractor to provide everything that the government needs.
Yes, I've actually used to work at a company where we had to bid on DME equipment. We, just so we couldn't just go and call the DME company and say, hey, yeah, we need a walker. Mm-hmm. You had to actually, put in the bids for it. And a lot of people don't know that the government has those bids open to the public.
Oh yeah. Government contracts are public information.
Yes, it's public information. Yeah, and you can get in there, especially just the sector that I was in is why it's a good example. Transportation. Transportation companies can get in with their local and state government and provide transportation for, I don't know, Medicaid recipients, whatever. There is, I mean, it's just so much. It's so much. And so from what I heard, the contracts can be quite lucrative as well, quite money making.
Yeah, so they can definitely be lucrative. And I know some people are still probably thinking, yes, the government needs jets and they need tanks and they need cars and equipment and things like that.
Yeah.
The big stuff. And you're right, they do need those things, but they also need cotton swabs and toothbrushes and ink pens and backpacks and copy paper.
That right there is so crazy, but it's neat. Like when I was learning those things, like something as minuscule as a pen or copy paper, but you bring it back to the point of they're not holding petty cash. Exactly. They have to go through proper procedures and stuff, because is that why like the government has to keep track of their spending?
Yes.
And what they're spending and what they're spending it on.
Exactly. And their budget and all of that. And when you think about it, a lot of times people don't think about those little things, but when you think, I mean, the military is not responsible for purchasing their own uniforms. The government purchases that. When you think about inmates, they're not responsible for bringing their own toothbrush to the prison.
Right.
The government
somebody supplies it. Exactly. And it's a small business like you or me that are supplying it, and not these big corporations as we see all the time. Because maybe I think that goes into play whenever and we've said it a lot, 99.9 of businesses are small, and with that, I mean, that's great vast opportunity there.
Exactly. So 99.9% of businesses in the US are considered small. So the government has no choice but to work with small businesses like mine, like yours. So when you put it in perspective that we're all considered small businesses. And when you think about it, when you think about a small business, you're thinking about, oh, they make less than $1 million, things like that. But based on the size standards, for me, myself, in my consulting firm, in order for me to not be considered small, I would need to make $24.5 million a year. Not overall, in a year, on a 3-year average.
What?
And then I would not be considered a small business.
Which is why there are so many businesses who fall. I mean, come on now.
I mean, these businesses
almost $3 million a year, and then you're not considered. I mean, and that's where
not 3, 24.5.
Oh, I thought you said 2 point.
No, 24.5 million. And it depends. So you have NAICS codes, which is your industry classification codes, and they determine your size. So some size, depending on your NAICS code, some size standards are determined by the number of employees you have.
Right.
Some are determined by the amount of money that you make. So just depending on what your determination is, most of the businesses out here are considered small businesses.
Right. That's, I mean, so what are like some of the initial steps of how a small business can get started?
So before we go into initial steps, I kind of want to make the distinction of government, because a lot of times when we think about government, we automatically think about the U.S. government.
Okay. So, okay. You want to back it up a little bit.
let's back it up just a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
So when we talk about government, you have your local government, you
Right.
have your state government,
Right.
you have your federal government.
Right.
And it can even be broken down even further than that: local, county, state, and federal.
Right.
So when you're thinking about contracting with the government, it may not necessarily be a federal
Government contract. Right.
but every government agency has the same issue. They don't have petty cash. So they have to put out government contracts and bids
Right.
and solicitations for bids. So you're going to be able to contract with your local city government, your county government, your state government, and your federal government.
Right.
And it's not limited to, I live in this particular city, this is the only city I can contract with. You can contract with surrounding cities. You can contract with surrounding counties.
Operating within where your state is, where your business is registered.
No, I can contract. We live in the DFW, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Mm-hmm. I can contract with a business in Austin.
Right, because you're still in Texas.
But I can contract with a business in another state.
Okay, cool.
So yes, it doesn't matter. It's not limited to where you are actually located.
Right. So it doesn't matter where you live. You can get a contract with any local, state, or federal, with any local government or any state government, no matter where your business is registered.
Exactly.
Okay.
I get solicitation request, bid request from agencies in Illinois.
Yeah.
Like the Chicago Railroad, I get bid requests from them.
Mm-hmm.
So there are so many government agencies that you can contract with outside of just
where you live.
Exactly.
That's pretty good. That is really good to know. And especially like how you just broke it down with not just when people say government, just as when people think of election, they think of just the presidential election, but you can right. So even with this, government, start small or start where you are, see what is needed within your county, see what is needed within your local area. The opportunities are there, especially with the minuscule things like the pens. That just blows my mind. But we are going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be right back. Are you a busy business owner with no time to promote your brand? Tired of trying to figure out what captions to write, what to post, when to post? You still haven't mastered graphics and how to use hashtags? At Chastity Does That, we will help you save time and money by doing these things for you. Allow Chastity Does That to manage your social media platforms, giving you time to grow and expand your business. Welcome back to the Holistic Business Plug Show, where we are talking about government contracts. Look, tonight we are trying to break it all the way down so everybody can have a great understanding about how government contracts can work for you and your business. So, Tamika, can we jump into how lucrative working with the government can be for a small or a big business?
Of course. So government contracts can be very lucrative for either large or small businesses. Mm-hmm. And it's because governments work on a massive scale. So they require a lot of services and goods to function efficiently. So here's a breakdown of how these contracts can really be highly profitable. The first thing is, when you think about scale, the government often needs services and products in large quantities.
Right.
So whether it's going to be equipping an entire department with new computers or resurfacing miles of roads, the sheer scale of most government projects is huge.
Girl, Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, either you can jump in there on the construction side, you can jump in there on the administrative side. I know you mentioned earlier the consultant side. I mean, that's big.
And that's another thing, is that that's probably a point of hesitation for a small business when you think about the size of a government, and you just little old me providing services to the government, because the government's not going to ask
Yes,
you for a pack of 12 pens.
yes.
They're going
Now
to ask
that's
you for 20,000 pens. And that's another thing. A lot of times people say, well, I don't provide that. They don't have a service that I provide, or they don't use my services, but anybody can provide goods. And you don't have to be someone that makes pens in order to provide pens to the government.
right,
All you have to do is find a supplier.
right,
And if you
right.
find a supplier that makes pens, that can provide the number of pens that the government needs, you act as the middle person.
Oh, right. And you're just getting your from the third party, but you're the person that's actually
You're the person with the contract,
with the
but your
contract.
supplier supplies
Yeah,
the government.
right,
You never even have to see those pens.
right,
They ship it directly to where it needs to go.
right.
So a lot of times, again, a point of hesitation to small businesses where they're thinking, well, I don't provide pens. I don't provide toothbrushes.
You
I
better
don't,
align yourself with the people that do.
exactly. You don't have to make or manufacture the thing that you provide. You can
Right.
just be the supply. You can just find a supplier that can supply the government.
I mean, and even if you, I mean, that's just like, working your business. When you decide to stop being a solopreneur, you contract your work out, right? You get somebody else to do it. You work as that middle person. So I feel like that's almost the same thing
Yes. So it is
as far as
contract.
the operational part of it.
Right. So that should not be a reason to hesitate on government contracts,
Man, that's
just as far as the
altogether.
size and the scale of it, thinking I'm just a little solopreneur, because there are solopreneurs that have government contracts.
Yeah,
I'm just a solopreneur and I can't provide something on a large scale and big enough for the government. That is not true.
right.
So another thing is consistency. So
Okay.
government contracts, especially those that are service-based,
Mm-hmm.
they normally run for several years. So this
Mm.
provides predictable, consistent revenue for your business. So who wouldn't want a contract that's for 5 years?
Right. Come on. Yes, I do.
Or the contract is for 3 years with the option to renew for the next 5 years.
Right. And the point that it's coming in years and not months
Exactly.
is all that's a major plus. That's a major plus.
Exactly. And with most private contracts, you're going to get a contract for 12 months,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 18 months. But with the government, they're going to extend those contracts out.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
So it's going to be consistent. You're going to have consistent revenue coming into your business.
Yes, and that also what runs into like having timely payments. If that's consistent revenue, you know that the money is coming.
Exactly. So again, private clients, you might have a delay of payment. You have to chase down those invoices. But the government, they typically stick to strict payment schedules.
Yeah, let's say typically. Let's throw
But
it
the
out
government
there.
does always pay.
Yeah,
Don't
they
get me wrong.
will pay you though.
Normally it's on a net 30 cycle, but the government does always pay, and they always pay timely.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's good to know. That
So
is
yes,
good to know.
so payment schedules, definitely consistent income. Another thing is credibility.
Right.
So when you win a government contract, that can like boost your street cred, because I'm a government contractor.
I know. That'll better make me feel like somebody. Mama, I made it.
Exactly. So it's going to boost your company's reputation. It's going to make it easier for you to get other contracts in the future. Once you've been awarded a contract and you can say, I'm a government contractor,
Right.
it'll be nothing for you to get another contract.
Right. You just got to get your foot in the door.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
So go ahead.
no, I was saying you have to get your foot in the door. Like, even though all of these resources are available, you as an independent business owner, you have to put in the work, you have to put in the research, in order to obtain these things and, see what's needed, all the requirements, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're talking about how lucrative it can be. So I just want to give you an example of how lucrative a government contract can be.
I want to get
Because
to it.
government contracts are not, they're not little $500 contracts. They may need something for $500 and you can provide that.
Right.
But also when I mentioned about the being a government contractor, being awarded a government contract, you can be a service-based business. For example, a consulting firm.
Okay.
But the government also buys goods. Your consulting firm may not sell goods, but you can provide goods to the government. I've seen contracts for a pack of Post-it notes. One pack of Post-it notes.
I could get the Post-it notes.
Look, a trash can, a blue wall clock. Who can't go to the local store and buy a blue wall clock and sell it to the government?
You gotta be kidding me. Like, this is this real? Is this on a real procurement list?
Yes. This is a real
a
contract.
pack of sticky
A real
notes.
solicitation for a blue wall clock. Yes. And guess what? If I provide a blue wall clock to the government and they purchase it from me,
you a government contractor. Now you own. Now you made.
Now I'm a government contractor. Yes, exactly.
Does your business have to be certified in order to obtain government contracts?
You do not have to be certified. But let me tell you how lucrative a government contract can be for your business. Whether you're a new business, you're a startup, you're an old business, you have 500 employees, you have one employee. So let's consider a tech startup company, right? So this company specializes in cybersecurity. So they secure a government contract with an agency to provide cybersecurity services and software solutions for 5 years. Again, government contracts are normally extended. So the contract might be worth, let's say, $10 million per year.
I would love to see that.
That's another thing about government contracting versus private clients. The government is going to pay you a lot more than a private client will for the same services.
And so that you can get it all done. They want you to have all the resources, everything you need to get to them so they don't have to do nothing.
The government pays a lot better than private clients. So the contract might be worth $10 million a year. So again, the contract is for 5 years, right?
Right.
That's $50 million over the entire period. Now, this is a tech startup company that is able to provide the services. Okay? So apart from the direct revenue that you're going to get, that startup is going to gain invaluable experience.
Yeah.
They're going to get credibility for working with the government agency.
Yep.
The timely payments that they're going to get of $10 million a year is going to ensure steady cash flow.
Girl.
It's going to help them to invest in their research and development, expand their team, improve their offerings.
Yep.
All from one government contract as a startup.
Yep. That's why I say it only takes one time and it can catapult your business. Catapult.
Yes, it can definitely catapult your business.
I mean, even like just say they're a tech startup. Technology is wild. So you can be in any type of entity with that. And then that you get in a contract like that, you may have 2 employees or 3. Now you have the means to, like you say, research and development. You can now hire people to help you, see your vision for what it is. I just think this is awesome. It's very inspiring.
Good. So along with all of that, so
It
the
is.
reputation that they're going to get as a government contractor, so they're going to find it easier going forward to secure contracts
Right.
with other agencies or corporations. If you can
Yeah.
go to a corporation and basically say, I'm a government contractor, you
Because
think
I
that doesn't
am.
carry any weight?
That carries a lot of weight, as it
Exactly.
should.
So not only when we're talking about how lucrative, not only are they going to benefit from the immediate financial gain of the contract,
Mm-hmm.
but the long-term gain for their
Right.
growth and reputation in the industry is going to be game changing for them. Government contracts can change the entire game of your business.
It's to catapult like a rocket ship.
Exactly.
Taking off. So before we move any further, because I do have some more questions. This is getting a little juicy now. We're gonna take a quick break, guys, and we'll be right back.
Are you fed up with your organization's current training methods? Are you and your employees bored with the same old tedious lectures and assignments? It's time for a change. Comply Prep offers an innovative online e-learning solution that covers every aspect of your business. With interactive lessons, learning has never been more engaging and efficient. Put an end to the frustration and welcome a new era of learning. Try Comply Prep now and feel the difference. Compliance made simple.
Welcome back, pluggers. I hope you guys are still tuned in to this great episode about government contracts. I mean, we are really getting a little deep here now, which I can appreciate it. It's totally inspiring. So I think what the audience and myself want to know is what about the initial steps? How can a small business get started? Like, how can we take that first step with trying to secure a contract?
Of course. So we mentioned about local and federal.
Yes.
So there are different steps for each. So with
Okay.
your local government, you want to definitely make sure that you are checking the procurement pages. So for example, we're in DFW, I would check the City of Dallas page. I would check the Dallas County page. I would check the State of Texas page. Every government agency has a procurement page.
Yes.
So you're going to want to back up. Locally, you're going to want to make sure your business is registered. Make sure your business is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can check the procurement pages. You can reach out. The procurement pages will have the procurement officer or the purchasing officer listed on the page. You can reach out to that officer. You can introduce yourself, introduce your business.
Oh, wow.
Basically, you want to stay top of mind. You want them when they think about, oh, I need compliance services. Oh, Tamika, I remember I met this woman named Tamika and she does compliance.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you are staying top of mind with those purchasing officers. A lot of the local governments have meetings. I know here they have meetings where they're trying to encourage people to sign up because they have money to give to local businesses, to
Good.
give to small businesses, and they can't, whether it is they are looking for businesses that are certified or they're looking for small businesses that are just applying for contracts, they're not able to give or award small businesses with these contracts because they're not seeking them.
So that's because we're not applying.
Exactly.
We're not applying for the contract. They're out there, but we're not
Money
applying.
is
And
there.
that's big because just like you said, some will be scared because they think you have to be 10 employees or you have to. This is great information, Tamika. We have to apply. You have to get out there and utilize the resources that are there.
Exactly. And you have to play the game to win. You will never
Yeah.
get a government contract if you never apply for a government contract. And I guarantee you that the first one you apply for, you're probably not going to win. But guess what you're going to do? You're going to learn.
Do it again.
You're going to learn. Anytime you don't win a contract, you can ask them for a debrief.
Mm-hmm.
You can let them tell you what you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know how to improve the next time. So you want to,
Absolutely.
yes. So with the local, you want to stay top of mind. You want to make sure that you're monitoring those procurement portals, going to networking events. So there are networking events locally that they have for opportunities, different agencies. I know here, Dallas
Dallas
Independent School
County.
District, Garland, the different hospitals that are government agencies, they have meetings where
Yep.
they're begging people, begging small businesses to apply for these contracts.
Yep.
And we're just not doing it.
Yep. They
So,
have webinars, Zooms. I've been in a couple of them where they're listing what's available. So
mhm,
I mean, yeah, it's there.
exactly. So that's locally what you want to
Okay.
do just initially for your first steps. Federally, you want to make sure that you, again, your business is set up correctly.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you register with the System for Award Management, which is sam.gov. You're gonna get a cage code. You're gonna get a UEI, which is a unique entity ID number, and you can search for contract opportunities. So you want to make sure that you are monitoring those systems so that you can find out if there are contract opportunities. You can also set up alerts so that you get alerted when certain things come up. I
Yep.
know locally, I get probably 3 to 4 alerts for government contracts a week.
Yep.
So I'm not even looking for them. They're coming to me.
To me, right.
The government
Right.
contracts that I've applied for were things that they sent me to apply for.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you get on those lists so that you
Right.
can find out about the opportunities. You'll get opportunities that you're not interested in applying for, opportunities that maybe you don't qualify for, but you can't win if you don't play.
If you don't play, you gotta get in the game.
Exactly. So I mentioned about having your business set up, not only set up, but you want to make sure that you are operating compliantly,
Right.
which
Right.
sounds like a big, huge feat, but it is not. You just want to make sure that your business is operating compliantly. You're paying your taxes, you're filing your reports, you have things in place, which is just what you should be doing, whether you want to do government contracting or not.
Or not. Yeah, it's crucial for businesses to set up compliantly. I mean, right from the start, we preach that all the time about having your foundation together.
Exactly. And I say it all the time that it ties back to our core message. My core message is compliance. Our message with the holistic business plug is that you want to make sure that your business is set up correctly
Yes.
and you want to be ready. I say it all the time, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Get ready. Yes.
If you
Yes.
don't, if you are not interested in doing government contracts right now, you still want to set your business up to be able to do it. Register in the systems, register with the procurement office, let them know who you are. Even if you don't introduce yourself now, get registered in the systems, register in sam.gov so that when an opportunity does present itself, you're not scrambling to try to figure out, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Stay
Right.
ready so you don't
You
have
don't
to
have to
get
get
ready.
ready. You
Because I
already
guarantee
have.
you that an opportunity will present itself that is going to be perfect for your business.
It
And if you're not
will.
ready for it, it's going to pass you by.
If you're not ready for that opportunity, yeah, like you said, it's gonna go knocking somewhere else to the next
Exactly.
business that was ready. Which reminds me of a time I think you told me of someone who had a great opportunity in front of them, but when it did something with their business, changed something. I mean, this person had a grand opportunity to sign like a $40,000
No,
contract,
this was $1 million contract.
$1 million,
Yeah.
girl,
And they
$1 million
messed up because they
was
changed some things in their business. That's another thing. You have to make sure that you are compliant, things are in order. And if you're in the middle of procurement, in the middle of signing a government contract, don't go changing your address. This come on now. We got to use common sense here. We have to use common sense in these situations. But yes, you definitely want to make sure your business is set up compliantly and correctly in order to take advantage of these opportunities.
Let me ask you this though. It sounds like a lot, real rigorous. Like, you got to have this business I's dotted, T's crossed, but that's okay. Because with the potential like competition out there, how can we stand out? How can a small business, you know, make themselves a little more noticeable?
Okay. Yes. So there are ways that you can stand out. Actually, we just talked about it
A
last
little
week when we
bit.
talked about business certifications. If
Yeah.
you're a minority or a woman or a veteran-owned business, you want to make sure that you get your business certified. You want to get certified locally and you want to get certified federally.
Right.
Because there are quotas that they have to meet in all of those categories. So like I said, they're begging people to get certified so they can give you this money because they have to award it to a certified business.
Right.
They have to give a certain amount of money to minorities. They have to give a certain amount of money to women. And those quotas are set off the top. But they are forced to give that money to someone else because women, minority, veterans are not applying for the contracts.
Right. And
So
they're
it's
not
almost
getting
guaranteed.
certified. They're not getting certified as women, minority, or veteran-owned businesses.
Exactly. So as long, if your business is in order, compliant, and you are certified, it is almost guaranteed that you can get a contract.
Right.
Because they're looking for you. And if you're the only woman-owned business that applies for the contract, where's your competition?
Right. Where's your competition? Right. I like that.
So another thing is building relationships. So I mentioned you want to go to networking events, you want to attend workshops, webinars, things like that government agencies are having to make people aware of the opportunities, to make people aware of what they have coming up. On most procurement sites, you'll not only find what they have currently, most of them have projections. I know on the City of Dallas site, you can find out what they have for the next couple of years coming up.
Yes, they are very detailed.
Exactly.
They're organized.
So even if you got registered now and you see, oh, this contract is coming up in 2 years, I can definitely get my business ready for that.
Yes, get yourself ready.
Exactly. So aside from making sure you get certified, if you qualify, making sure that you're building relationships, you want to showcase your quality.
Right.
So you want to make sure that when you are submitting proposals, that you are emphasizing the quality, reliability that your company brings, not just the cost. Because the cost is not the most important thing that a government agency looks at. A lot of times we think I need to be the lowest so they can choose me. They don't necessarily choose the lowest price.
Okay.
They choose the price of, they choose the person that can provide quality, that has a differentiator, that's going to be different from everyone else, that can provide them with what they need.
Right.
The government doesn't care how much they pay for it.
Exactly.
They just want to make sure it gets done and done correctly.
Right. Make sure you're providing things of value when you're working. Trash.
Exactly. And I had a mentor that said, if you're the cheapest, no one's going to think you're the best. And if you're the best, they're going to know that you're not the cheapest.
Right.
So a lot of times we think about, I just have to make sure my bid is the lowest. They're not going to think you're the best if you come in $10,000, $5,000
below everybody else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not all about cost.
Yeah.
It's about the quality and being able to provide the services.
Absolutely. And so for those people that are feeling a bit overwhelmed with all of this information, what tips do you have?
So when it comes to being overwhelmed, of course, that is where I come in.
Because this is a lot.
Look, I'm here to save the day. So if you're considering stepping into the world of government contracting, I can assist. I help startups making sure that they can get ready to be able to accept government contracting, from naming their business to being certified. I help established businesses get government ready, making sure that I can walk them through the registration process, making sure that their business is completely set up so that they can accept government contracts. Right. So yeah, if you're feeling overwhelmed, my information is at the end in the credits. Reach out, book a call. Definitely just hit me up, because I can definitely, if not work together, I can give you information. I have checklists, things like that are available that I can help you on that road to government contracting.
All righty. So we're going to take a quick break, you guys, and we'll be right back.
Are you an expert or thought leader in your industry? Would you like to be a guest or advertise on the Holistic Business Plug show? Here we provide a dynamic platform to share your insights, engage with our audience, while plugging your brand and telling your story. Our network attracts a diverse audience from all walks of life with over 700,000 active viewers in 11 countries on all major streaming services. Don't miss the chance to take your business to the next level. Contact us and let us help you reach new heights.
Welcome back. This has been such a great conversation. Like I said, I am super passionate about government contracting and all things compliance, but we are down to our last segment of the show, which is what we are reading. So the book that we are reading this week is We Should All Be Millionaires, A Woman's Guide to Earning More, Building Wealth, and Gaining Economic Power by Rachel Rogers. So check the book out. Of course, it is on Audible. And yeah, I think this is going to be a great book for us to read.
And there you have it, folks. The world of government contracting is vast, promising, and accessible to small businesses like yours. Thank you, Tamika, for shedding so much light on this. It was such a great episode. As always, I learned so much, and I hope you guys learned a lot as well.
Yes, it has definitely been enlightening as always. So remember, viewers, the world of government contracting isn't just for the big players. With the right preparation and guidance, your small business can tap into this gold mine. And on that note, we are going to wrap up tonight's episode of the Holistic Business Plug. Stay inspired, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.